Well, good evening, everyone. A smoky Sydney evening with a whole lot of, it was very, very fine afternoon sunset with all the burning going on around the city. It certainly made for a rich orange sunset, but certainly turned into a deep smog haze as I drove back along the M5 to get home. Welcome to this evening's chat with none other than Millie Formby, who I know for most of you doesn't need an introduction, because I know that many of you have been following our regular catch-ups over the last, believe it or not, 16 months that Millie has been on the road. Anyway, we're going to talk about that, because that sort of feels a bit like a hang on, scratch me. Has it really been 16 months that she has been driving, or flying, I should say? Well, driving and flying. I mean, it's been a massive journey right around Australia. And as you saw in the post, we're getting together tonight because this is actually going to be probably our very last catch up, because she is not on the home turn. She's on the final straight. And it's not far now. We're down to a couple of weeks, if that. But Millie's going to give us the lowdown. So I want to just say, 16 months, Ange. Hello, Helen. G'day, Marty, Ross, Sarah. So as I said, I'm here in Sydney on Gadigal and Biddigal land of the Eora. Just want to acknowledge the land that we're on, and, of course, the seas that we're on, and acknowledge that on Sunday I also appreciated the air, because it was the Festival of the Winds. And as a location, Bondi Beach has been a special landscape for a long time, for thousands of years. And to see so many thousands of people down there for the Festival of the Winds with kites flying, and being able to talk about appreciating the wind, appreciating the seasons, appreciating nature, and connecting to the landscape we were on, not just because it was a day, but because that landscape has so much to teach us. And, you know, Millie may be flying in the air, but she's all about caring for the planet and caring for the earth, and really helping to acknowledge and regenerate country, particularly our wetlands, with the birds as the thread. The birds are the ones that connect all our wetlands. And this has been the topic of our conversation, not just our conversation here online, but Millie's conversation around the country for 16 months in front of so many children and communities, and bringing this knowledge and information that she has as a zoologist and a shorebird officer. And it's all about caring for this incredible continent that we're on, and the landscapes that provide habitat for the birds and habitat for all of our flora and fauna. You know, it's wonderful. So yeah, what a journey it's been. I've learned so much. And so let us know. I'm here on Gadigal and Biddigal land. Let us know what land and town or city you're coming in from. I can see Annie's here all the way from the US. Lovely to have you here, Annie, and thanks for all the support that you've given Millie and Lee Tatchell, to Karen. So many of you that I can see here have supported Millie along the way over this last 16 months. So let me bring Millie on, and let's catch up. So North Carolina, Newcastle, Kaz Lucas, Gold Coast, Deborah Wilkins, all the way from up on the Goldie. Welcome, Deborah. Jabaru, yes, 16 months. Can you believe it? Love following Millie. I'm excited to see her fly into home. Yeah, exactly. Flying painter. Cairns, good on you. Sunny Coast, Bunbury, all the way. Oh, that's back over in Millys part of the world. So anyway, everyone, here we go. Let's bring Millie in. Millie Formby.
Hello, how you doing, Costa?
I am doing really well, particularly excited to see you and to see just how close you are to let's say the checkered flag for this journey, but certainly the starting point, the finish line for this chapter, but the starting point for plenty of other chapters from what this journey has brought. How are you feeling?
I've got mixed feelings, obviously. I'm excited about, being home again and seeing all my friends and everything. But obviously, also, it's just, keeps phone ringing. Also, obviously, it's a bit emotional, I suppose, about it all finishing and being over. I think that's a little bit sort of hasn't sunk in yet, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you've had to stay on and focused for so long, and we switch in and out of a live broadcast.
Yeah.
But you come out of a broadcast that we do. You're getting ready for a flight. You jump on the flight. Not jump on the flight. You're not sitting up the back. You're driving the thing. You're also thinking about where you go. Well, just all the difficulties of flying. But then, what are we going to land? Where's the support vehicle? What schools are we visiting? Which community? What am I doing? What's the weather doing? Like, it's been a massive. It's been a long time. 16 months. I suppose it sort of falls a bit into perspective now.
Yeah, I think so. I sort of started to reflect on what I've done and the things I've had to. You get into a rhythm with. It sounds funny, but you get into a rhythm with living with the uncertainty of everything and sort of letting things unfold as it goes, waiting for the weather and learning to live in unfamiliar places and just organising accommodation and logistics for school visits and flight planning and stuff like that, just for the next 1 or 2 stops as you go, maybe 3 stops ahead. But that's really all you can plan ahead, and contacting the people you need to contact along the way, and Giovanni, all those people you have to contact on the way, and just staying on top of that all the time. I think it's gonna. I don't think I'm gonna know what to do with myself for a bit when I get home. Being able to put all that down. Hey, Mary, it's so lovely to see you here. I'm so looking forward to coming home. I'll get emotional. Getting emotional thinking about it.
That's wow. That is really lovely, because I mean, it's been such a physical and emotional sort of strength that you've had to hold together.
Yeah, it has been surprisingly more so, I think, than I thought it was. It's only just the last couple of flight legs I started to get quite emotional about it, which people in the live stream probably noticed, because I started crying flying the other day because I was talking about it. And it's just like, just having, it will take a while to process. Thanks, Martin. Just the people who've come out of the woodwork to support me and help carry me through that journey, whether it be as ground crew or offering me a place to stay or sponsoring a flight leg or, giving me a bit of cash or buying me a meal or something. Just so many different ways, or just showing up to a live stream every single time I broadcast and saying, keep going, what you're doing is inspiring and amazing and stuff like that. So, it can be. It's all starting to hit home, I guess. And you kind of have to put some things that are going on in your own life on the back burner, because you don't have space for it when you're doing something like this. So I can see that probably a bit of that stuff's gonna come up when I get home too. So yeah. Dealing with real life. I'm gonna have to go back to work and think about how I'm gonna get a new car. The realities. Yeah, it's
It,
real life.
like, yeah, I mean, that's that's the amazing thing, like
Mm,
holding that space and having that
yeah,
strength and resilience to
yeah,
to be in that routine, and when you're in
yeah,
the routine, you know that you've got the momentum, and it's almost like the hurdles and the speed humps that have come up, the momentum
yeah.
you've had has literally lifted you
Mhm.
airborne over the speed humps, and and
Yeah,
and to the next to the next leg, and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel the same. Like, you just think, wow, you what are you exactly? How many legs are you from home?
Well, 4 actually. It was 6, but I've decided to skip stopping at Shark Bay and Geraldton so I can take advantage of a weather window that's coming up this week. Otherwise, I'm going to get stuck somewhere for at least a week. And Keith, who's ground crewing for me, he drove up to Darwin with his car after mine broke down to well, it was basically rescue me, really, so I
Yeah,
could
rescue
finish the
vehicle.
trip. It was a rescue mission. So he needs to be home in October, the first week of October, for dental surgery. So I need to get him home for his appointment. So I'm gonna, if I had my own car with me still, I'd be happy to wait out the delay. But when someone's helping you out and they're using their vehicle, you really need to look after them. So uh, I'm disappointed to not be stopping at those places, but yeah, it's really important that we take advantage of that weather window while it's open. And it looks like we'll be flying Carnarvon this Thursday, Kalbarri Friday, and then I can get down to Jurien Bay on Saturday morning. And then I think we'll be in Jurien for maybe 4 nights, and then we can maybe 5, and then we can fly to Whitegum either Wednesday the 20th or Thursday the 21st. But yes, it is crazy weather tomorrow in WA. I saw that down south. There's a severe weather warning. Yeah, Keith is amazing. He's a good egg. Yeah,
um, yeah, that and Javier was saying there's some big winds forecast, and so
yeah,
on and so forth, which, and like you say, I mean, getting stuck for a couple of weeks at this close point
yeah.
would be a real tough
Mhm.
one.
It would be tough. More so for Keith, I think, than me. I
Yeah.
think he'd be a bit stressed. Yep. Yeah, but it's all good.
Uh, Um, Kat said, "You must
Oh,
be
hey,
happy that
Kat.
you're happy and excited that you're nearly home, and sad that Australia is not bigger to keep going."
There's a little bit of that. I'm like, oh, I've been adventuring so often, like either going on flying adventures or like birding adventures, just whenever I feel like it for the last, 18 months or so. And now I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I'm like, oh man, that's going to be tough, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll
It's
just
not.
go away. I'm going to go fly somewhere today. Yeah, just go on an adventure.
It's
I have
like,
to, I was thinking,
yeah, because it's funny, because it's like, I'm going to fly somewhere today, but not have to think, oh, I'll just go that far because I've got to come back. You've been going
exactly.
one way,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
worried about
Yeah.
what's behind you. Just, I'm going that way today. So yeah, that's a big sort of shift. And then when you get there, there's different birds, different things to see, different wetlands. It's kind of
Exactly.
just been like a rolling screen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And what's nice about that is, yeah, you just have to make sure if the wind's a little bit high where you take off from, that's fine. Once you're up in the sky, you're going. You just need to make sure the wind on the ground where you're going is going to be good. So
Oh yeah,
that
wow.
makes it easy. You don't have to worry about coming back, as you said. But I was thinking about how when I get home, I'm gonna have to, plan some adventures. I think just with the microlight, going out with my hiking pack, have the tent and the sleeping bag and everything with me, and go on a few adventures. Yeah, that'd be
Wow.
fun.
Wow.
Yeah, come back up to Cairns. I'd love to. I also want to get back up north in WA, because I had to skip a few legs just because it was too late in the year to get across the Kimberley, the North Kimberley. So flying from Kununurra to Halls Creek, for example, because I'm flying inland, it's a 3-hour flight, and the thermals kick off really early once you're inland. It gets really hot, especially when you're flying over the Bungle Bungles, which is just rock. So, rock heats up really fast.
Oh, yeah.
But like by 9 o'clock, the thermals are really pumping. So I really didn't want to be flying over the top of that in the middle of the morning. It wasn't really safe, and you get these high, low-level winds. So I'm disappointed that I had to do that. I'm really disappointed.
Yeah. There's a couple of questions. So if anyone's got questions, please rack them up, and I'll throw them up on the screen, and Millie can have a bit of a chat to you about it. But there was a question from Megan, and she said, where's the best place to find more information? Is that the website?
The website. Yeah, go to the website, wingthreads.com, and you'll find all about me and the adventure. There's some blog posts on there. I haven't got them quite up to date with where I'm at now. It's been hard to do that on the road, but yeah, you can see what I've been up to on the trip as well. Yeah.
There it is. I just put it up there on the.
Thanks, Costa. Yeah.
In the chat.
Yep.
I think it went up there.
Favorite places. Yes.
Yeah, some favorite. Hang on. I think I spelled that wrong. Wingthread.
Oh, it should be wingthreads.com.
Hang on, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Wingthreads.com.
Oh, can I connect on my YouTube? I think I can. Hang on. All right. Oh, here we go. I can comment.
Yeah, so I saw a good question there from a question from Jabiru. A question for you, Millie. Do you have any favorite places? That's a good question. Thanks for that.
Yeah. I have a list of places I want to go back and visit now. Cairns is actually one of them. I really loved Cairns, and flying up around Innisfail and Atherton was absolutely beautiful. I really loved flying across the Great Australian Bight. That was probably the highlight of this trip still, is flying across the Bunda Cliffs. That was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really specky. And it was whale migration season. So, having all the whales in the water underneath me was pretty epic.
Yeah.
And where else? Oh, I loved flying just this past few flight legs I did too, like from around Exmouth Gulf and from like Port Hedland right down to Exmouth and Broome, Roebuck Bay. Like that whole part of northwest WA is absolutely spectacular. Like the red earth, and you've got these big clay pans with these spinifex islands in them, and you have all these greys and blacks and reds and greens and blues all kind of mixing together, and it's just absolutely magic. And like the mud flats of Roebuck Bay just extending out for kilometres, and 80 Mile Beach, like that country is so, so beautiful. It was really specky to fly over that. And I'd sort of been hanging out to fly over that for ages because, it's a country that I'd visited before for doing shorebird work, and it's a major shorebird habitat in Australia as well. They're both major shorebird sites. Probably the number one spot to see shorebirds in Australia. So being able to fly above those habitats was really special. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That country up there, I've had a taste, but to fly over it, I mean, that's just the next level. To fly over it 500 feet,
Yeah.
and see it. Like for anyone listening, I've been fortunate to go up 4 times with Millie, and you know, you just see everything, and you see it with a context, and you feel it. You know, you feel it. You feel you're feeling the conditions. You're not sitting in a tin can. You're sitting in a seat in the air, and seeing those threads between the suburbs and the waterways and the wetlands and the developments and all of those things. Like sitting there, I could have. Oh, geez, if I didn't have other things on, I would have just picked that seat and just sat there and just had a drip and just said, I'll just sit here for 18 months and sleep and then take off again. It's amazing. It's really amazing there, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really specky, and like around the Exmouth Gulf, like flying up the Gulf there, you know, I flew over. Oh, there was actually a lot of shorebirds that I saw. They did get spooked by the microlight, but it was good to be able to see where they're roosting, because there's so many areas there that you can see how inaccessible that part of Australia is. It's one of the big challenges in shorebird conservation. We just don't actually know how many birds are there because those places are inaccessible to do surveys. So it was great to see, you know, where the birds were, how many there were. There were just thousands of birds, you know, flying up from these roosts. I couldn't tell what they were. I could just tell that they were shorebirds. And there were manta rays, and I saw a dugong and humpback whales, and it was just amazing. It was so good. Yeah. Sammy J was also a highlight, flying across to Tyab. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Along the mornings in particular. That was good.
Megan says, I know what my lessons are going to be this week with my son and homeschooling kids. That's great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Karen said, how does it feel to have made history? Does it dawn on you that you have?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it has dawned on me that I have. I don't think I have made history. I don't know. It's it's a well, you know, I don't like I've done something amazing. Like I think my objective of the flight to go around Australia was really to do community engagement, and I've succeeded in that. It's one of the reasons I chose to skip a few flight legs was because the priority was meeting those school visit priorities and not necessarily doing a whole lap, I suppose, in the Microlight. But I do think of it still in terms of an aviation achievement, and I'm like, well, I didn't properly circumnavigate Australia. That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think of when you say making history. Yeah, but in terms of all the other stuff, I think it's been pretty successful. Yeah, I've visited over 100 schools now. I reached 100 schools in Port Hedland, and so I visited 104 schools. And that was my goal at the beginning of this trip, was to reach 100, visit 100 schools on the trip. And we reached over 6,500 students. So that was awesome. And I've still got another school visit in Jurien Bay before I get home. So that's fantastic.
Wow. 100 schools.
Yeah.
Like
that. That's a lot of schools.
That's literally,
you
know, if you say 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 16 weeks, 16 months. 100 schools. That's, you know, you're visiting a couple of schools a week almost.
Yeah, it's been pretty full on. That doesn't include the online stuff or the community talks I did for like adult groups either. So it'd be well over whatever that is. I haven't even bothered counting it yet. So yeah.
No, here's a question from Kirsty.
Okay.
You could go back to when you hatched the wing threads idea. What words of wisdom would you give your former self before you started on this adventure? I say former because no doubt you've had personal growth and experiences once you have imagined. Good question, Kirsty.
It is a good question. What would I probably would have told myself to get a new car before I left. And also, I think I've rolled with things pretty well. Not saying that I haven't learnt things on the way. I've learnt a lot about myself in terms of my limits and about my needs as a person as well. It kind of shoves everything in your face when you do something like this about how you move in the world, I suppose. So I've learned a lot about my limits in terms of how much can I put out there before I need to stop and take a rest, and managing my energy and managing time with people and setting boundaries around all of that kind of work-life balance thing. That's been a big part of it. But I've also learned that I'm more than capable of handling. I trust myself that I can handle, organizing a big thing and trusting my own judgment, I suppose, when it comes to my flight decisions and doing things as a pilot. Trusting your own judgment, not submitting to pressure from other people to perhaps do something when you're not quite comfortable in terms of the weather or whatever. And also, what else would I have told myself though? I think I probably would have told myself that this is going to be really hard, and and that's okay. Like, it's okay that it's going to be really difficult. Yeah, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself that you weren't aware of, and just let it unfold. It's going to be okay. That's probably what I told myself.
Yeah, that one about it's going to be okay. You've been dishing that out to yourself consistently. And
well, at times I have pushed myself. Like, I get stressed and I'm like, I need this to happen like this, and push. And I learned, I have to remind myself all the time that when I push, things don't seem to work. When I try and make things happen on Millys' time, things don't work, because I have to learn to let things happen, in nature's time, in the universe's time, however you want to phrase it. Then things work out. When I push, things can, you make mistakes. So, for example, Keith and I had to set up the Microlight at Broome Airport week before last, and we got there, and the wind forecast was for 9 or 10 knots, and it was a little bit breezy, and I said, it's a little bit breezy, but I think it's going to be all right. And we started setting the wing up, and the wind picked right up. Like, I'm talking 15, 20 knots picked up.
Whoops.
And yeah, exactly. But once the wing is set up, you got to deal with it. It's not like you can just pack it down, because it's vulnerable to blowing over. So I needed to get it on the trike base. It was really stressful because control tower wanted us to move the plane, and it's hard to move the plane when the wind is that high, and having to tie it down, and having people from the duty officers saying you can't have the plane facing side on to wind because the tie down, our regulations say it has to be facing this way, and all this other stuff. And it was really stressful and making that mistake. But that was me being a bit impatient, probably, and wanting to get something done, and instead of saying, hey, it's probably a little bit breezy, if it gets worse than this, it's going to turn pear-shaped, and let's do it this afternoon. Instead of doing that, I pushed and, things went wrong. So you got to take that on the chin, obviously, when that happens, and realize you made a mistake and learn from it. I can't say I was calm in that situation, Annie. It wasn't. It was stressful, and it was pretty shit, really. But obviously, once you're in it, you have to deal with it, and it worked out all right, and things were fine. But it's learning from that stuff, and I would definitely make a different decision next time in that situation.
Oh, and when I think about how many situations you've been on over the last 16 months, and you think, your discipline was exemplary, given that you had so much on. And I know from watching you when we have been up in the air, because I talk about it all the time, and the majority, when I say majority, I reckon 60, maybe 70-30 people go, whoa, 70 easy, 70% would go, nah, never, no way, you're kidding, you went up in that, rah, rah, rah. And it's only when I explain to people, and then when you're with someone that is so thorough and competently goes through the rigorous detail that flying is, that the person actually in charge of that plane is also the one that has checked it. We jump on and off planes and things, and there's so many people involved in that process, and we just take it for granted. So when people said to me, oh God, you'd never get me going up in that chair with a lawnmower on the back, sort of thing, I go, no, I know what you've done. So, one thing like that, that doesn't even, it's a great one. It's a great reminder. It's a great story to be able to tell people. But in terms of, like, you were extinguishing those things before they even ever, caught flame for 99.9% of the time. So it's nice to hear that story. But in the context of like the 18-odd thousand kilometers that you've traveled, like you didn't make those 18,000 kilometers on kind of emotive grounds, like your discipline to contain emotion and be a rigorous pilot. That's what's got you to, this last couple of legs. Like it's been amazing. Truly.
I suppose that is a big part of it. I do get nervous at times before a flight because sometimes you're going, geez, I hope I'm right about the decision to go up here. You do get caught out sometimes. I got caught out with Sammy J. I didn't think that it was going to be blowing a 15-knot crosswind when I got to tie. That was a bit stressful, but handled it. And that's the thing, once you're in a situation like that, you've got no choice but to handle it. You're like, all right, well, I'm here now, I've got to deal with it. But that's one thing I do like about myself, is that I am dedicated. And my mum said that to me the other day. She said, I admire how dependable you are. When you say you're going to do something, people can really trust that you're going to do it. I was like, oh, thanks, Mum.
Well, that's kind of what Anne's just said there, Sometimes it's nice to see or just to hear it through other people's eyes, because you're in the midst of it, and you've got a a sense of a job to do.
It is, a sense of the job to do. Yeah.
Every day.
And I'm breaking it down like one flight leg at a time. That's always what I focused on. And I remember when I was first came up with this project and was planning it out, and I told my flying instructor Gordon about it for the very first time. And then occasionally I get overwhelmed and say, oh my God, how am I going to do this thing? And he'd say, can you fly the plane? And I said, yeah. And he goes, can you fly it from A to B? I said, yeah. And he goes, well, that's all you're doing. You're just flying it from A to B. That's all you need to ever worry about. Don't worry about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's been the best advice I think I've had on this trip. And that's all I've ever done is just focus on what's in front of you. And yeah, it's been all right.
Yeah. Giovanni asked, has the engine ever hiccuped when in mid-flight?
No, it hasn't. No, it's a Rotax engine, a 912, 80 horsepower. They've got a very good reputation for being reliable engines, which is why they're used in so many single-engine aircraft.
Yep. Have you had to fly through clouds? This is from Martin Ross. Thanks, Martin. The fog bank looked like very little visibility.
No, I've never been caught out in cloud before. So as a recreational pilot, you're not allowed to fly through clouds, so you have to fly by what's called VMC, or visual meteorological conditions. So that means remaining clear of cloud, and you need to be able to see the ground as well. So, if you've got a big bank of fog below you and there's no breaks in it, then you really shouldn't be flying over the top of it. I know in the flight leg from Elliot to Daly Waters, it looked like there was a lot of fog, and it looked like I didn't have visual meteorological conditions on the live stream because all the fog was out to my right, but to my left I could see the ground, and I was flying along the edge of it, so I could stay near the road. But no, I haven't been caught out, fortunately, flying into clouds. So that's been good.
Ange said that. Where is it? I was just looking for it. Yeah, my mum. Consistent and persistent.
Yeah, I've had people. I had one of my friends say to me one time, "You're so quietly determined, Millie." I was like, "Oh, that's a fair call. I can see that. It's true. Once I set my mind to something, I get very focused, and I will stick at it, regardless of not regardless of what happens. I think if something major happened that was really the universe saying you need to put this down, then I listen. But no, if things are falling into place, I don't see why there's any reason to stop. Yeah,
Exactly. Any other questions here? Karen said that her dad worked for McDonnell Douglas and he despises flying because he knows how planes are made.
there you go.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a I suppose that's the same as anything. Actually, I got to put a little post up this week to ask people's opinion about, like, just all in new cars, all this lane assist and auto assist, because I was driving the other day and it's probably the most unsafe I've felt in a car when I couldn't turn that off. It kept turning back on, and I'm driving in country conditions, and I'm trying to stay on the left when semis are coming this way on just a small country road, and the car would go like that and suddenly reef me like back towards, a semi coming my way. And it just wouldn't turn off. I'd turn it off and then it would kick back in. And it just makes you realize, like, these technological things, they're kind of made for an urban environment, and people are in the city and they get a little nudge, stay in your lane. But, in a rural setting, then they're actually not appropriate.
No, absolutely not.
Because I'm trying to also steer clear of the edge because there was massive potholes because the Victorian countryside has had a lot of rain this season and massive potholes, and it's dragging me. And so I'm trying to stay more to the middle. But as soon as I get to near the middle, then it would pull the steering wheel back that way. And I literally was fighting for 4 hours with this car, and it was beeping and tooting. And I'm glad glad there wasn't a microphone in there because I was having a bit of a chat to the car. I wasn't so happy. Anyway,
I haven't been happy with the car either.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like you find your technique, as you've had, and your machine. You chose your machine carefully, and you've looked after it. You've put her away when she needs to be away, and you've kept her safe and sound, and she's got you where she's got you.
Yeah, she has. She's got a few bumps and scratches along the way. I gotta say, I just did what's called a betsometer test on the sail a couple of days ago, because that fabric wing does get affected by UV, and you do need to check it. So that with a betsometer, what you do is you put a pinhole in it and you pull force on it, and hope that it doesn't tear the fabric. So you have to pull it to, I think it's 1,360 grams of tension, and if it tears the fabric, then the sail has failed. It's got too much UV damage, so you have to put it away. Thankfully it passed, but that sail probably hasn't got too much life left in it. So I do have a new sail sitting in my trailer waiting to go, but it'll be nice that this one is going to finish the job and get me back home, and then I'll think about putting a new one on later. But yeah, and like when I was at Annaplane Station, you have to wait for your ground crew to get there. I didn't have my yoga mat that I put the control frame on when I'm on the ground, and Annaplane Station, I needed to put the wing down.
Oh. Oops. Sorry, Millie. There was
me, did you? Whoops.
There was a massive. Just give me 1 sec. There was this massive bang outside. I just want to go and see what it was.
Okay, sure. No worries. Oh, that sounds dramatic. Thank you, Genevieve. Appreciate that. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. I saw your earlier comment too.
Oh, they're doing some road work and they dropped a steamroller. They drove a roller off the road and it went bang. And I thought it felt like someone smashed into the house. Hence my my dart from screen there. But anyway, all's good. All's good.
Yeah, wow, okay.
You're safer in the air, Millie. You're definitely safer in the air.
I've had people say that to me, yes. Yeah.
Let me see, what's this one? If someone wanted to email the schools in their area, is there a particular link that's best to send to inform about your book and teaching notes?
Yes, just go to wingthreads.com and there's a link on there that'll take you to the book. It just says buy the book. It's a button. That'll take you to CSIRO Publishing website where you can buy the book online. And the CSIRO Publishing website is where you find the teacher's notes as well.
Great.
Thanks, Kaz.
Well, Megan got that answer about changing the wings. I think that, I suppose the Australasian flyway question is that's probably something to ponder down the track after you've sort of put all this into perspective, I imagine.
Yes. Yeah, when I get home, I've got a very regular job lined up with my friend Trevor doing I'm gonna be using my drone pilot license to do real estate photography for him. So that'll be nice, just being able to do something completely non-shorebird related.
Hilarious. Suddenly you're just playing, you're playing Millie sort of like a game, just playing on a little microlight, and you can just zoom it around, and maybe on your screen it can look like a microlight, so you just feel like you're flying around the country.
With the drone, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could put a little microlight wing on top of the drone. Yeah, so I'm just going to be doing that for a while for Trev. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good question. Thanks, Greg. We're tapping into the engine room now. Are you seeing more or less birds in flight?
Oh, well, I'd probably say seeing a few more down the WA coast. Seeing more shorebirds, but that's because I'm flying over their wetland habitats, and they've just arrived back from their southern migration. Sorry, from the Arctic. So there's more birds here in those habitats that have flown over. But in terms of like birds flying up alongside me and things like that, no, I haven't seen any more than usual up there. You get a lot more birds at airstrips though, out in regional Northern Territory and WA. Some of the places I went to had a lot of black kites, especially the Northern Territory and northwest Western Australia. You have heaps of black kites, like sometimes flocks of hundreds of birds. So you need to be careful taking off at certain times of day or landing at certain times of day because of black kite activity. Or like when I landed at Exmouth, there was a massive flock of galahs at the end of the runway that I flew over the top of, but thankfully they didn't get in the way. So yeah, I don't think I'm seeing any. I think I'm seeing more shorebirds and things like that in the wetlands, but not necessarily up there in the sky at my flight level.
Yeah. It's it's a slightly different world up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
To the
But you do see birds
sort
up
of
there.
habitat.
Yeah.
To where most of us see, or to where we always see the birds. God, I think back to when we couldn't go flying that day out of Newcastle, and we went to the Hunter wetlands there.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
And watched it was seriously, everyone, like basically what I saw for the first time was what Millys written about in the book right there.
Yeah,
and we could see the birds with their summer plume, and then there was the others that had already started to change and were getting ready for their winter, for their over summer. Remember, and like it was through the, like your friend, the birdo,
Tom Clark, yeah.
Tom, and we were looking through. We attached my phone to his telescope, and God, it was like we were just over there on that island where they were, and I could see the colors, and then when I saw the book, it was like, yep, that's exactly what I saw, and being on the ground and suddenly connecting with those birds. Like I think Ange said something earlier about that she said it's not just about you telling the story, it's about others.
Oh, you've cut out for me, Costa. Oh, I can't hear you anymore. Is that my internet or yours? Might be me. Okay. Oh, is that Costa's internet or mine? Oh, okay. It looks like it was Costa's. We'll wait for him to come back. I just changed my internet over to my phone. Keep going. He'll be back. All right, here he comes.
I think they.
Hey, there you are. I thought it was me, Costa. I thought it was my caravan park Wi-Fi.
Well, I maybe this road worker's gone and cut the cable or something. I don't know. I was a bit
Oh,
like
no.
cryogenics. We have the beard forever. Hey, Spencer's here. Spencer in the house.
Yeah. Hey, Spencer. Good to see you.
The steamroller probably took out his Wi-Fi. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
It may have. It's Costa. You're good. Hey, Millie, keep going. We'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Costa's frozen. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, we were talking about the comment from Ange about like people talking about your story.
Yeah.
And yeah, she'd seen me talking about you and being a I was being a shorebird on a table and
Yeah, that's right. She sent me photos.
Oh, really?
It was quite impressive. You were lying on your belly and flapping your wings, I think.
Yeah, and being asleep as well. So that
Right. Okay,
I could illustrate that the just illustrate what goes on, with those birds.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. Anyway, I'll go back to some of the later comments and let's see. So yeah, if there's anything else, everyone, good to see you. Says Spencer. It was because you had a chance to catch up with Spencer when you're on the Sunshine Coast.
Yes, we caught up at Noosa, and Spencer took me bird watching in the Noosa River to show me all of the shorebirds in his local hood. And what did we see, Spencer? We had beachstone curlews and double-banded plovers and red-capped plovers, bar-tailed godwit, eastern curlew. We had some beautiful white-winged black terns and things like that. And his mum and dad hired a boat. We went for a bit of a cruise around in the boat, and we went out at night time too looking for an owl, but we dipped on the owl, didn't we? It was great spending time with Spencer. Yep.
Ah, that's fantastic. That's unreal. I went to visit him and I was hiding behind some cars and he was looking to we went to where the black cockatoos come in each afternoon to have a drink and
Yes.
overnight and I hid behind these cars wanting to surprise him, and like he's just got a sixth sense, so he just knew something. He could sense that something else was there, and it wasn't the black cockatoo, it was the black beard. And he was looking around, and then I was waiting, and I thought I'll go and surprise him now, then I won't. And I kind of looked, and then he looked over, and I kind of went back. At that point he clocked that there was someone, and then he just joined the dots and said, no way, I know what that cockatoo is. And yeah, I couldn't. I wanted to sneak up while he was, because when he gets into his camera, he's so focused.
Yes, that's true.
He knew I was there in a strange way. He's got his sensors out. Beep 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 beep. There's a threat. Yeah. There's a threat.
Yeah. Yes, Spencer showed me the spot where the cockatoos come in for a drink too. Yeah.
Yeah, to the depression in, and this is a beautiful thing. There's a depression in a car parking space which fills up with water, and then the school put no parking on that, and they've basically said, well, that's there for the birds.
It's the cockatoo spot, yeah. Reserved for the cockatoos.
And everyone was walking out of their classes, their music lessons in the afternoon, because it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're all walking out. And the birds go, yeah, that's the music class. And the music class are just like, yeah, that's the birds. And everyone's coexisting. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah. That was very cool.
See you, Kaz. Hi,
Nicola.
Oh, Nicola's here. Hello, Nicola.
Yeah, she's here.
Any other Sunshine Holiday?
somebody asked about the book. Where was it? I'll just find it. Is the book only available through your website, not in bookshops anywhere? Sydney? Question mark. You can buy it at bookshops. I've seen it in quite a lot of bookshops. So yeah, go in and have a look in the children's book section. Most of them have it. I was shortlisted for the Children's Book of the Year Award and the Wilderness Society Environmental Literature Award. So I think most bookshops will have it. And if they don't, you can just ask them to order it in.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
It's called A Shorebird Flying Adventure.
Oh,
have you got a copy there?
I think so. It's always close at hand because I'm taking it with me wherever I go.
Yeah, my copy is starting to look a bit tattered and worn.
Yeah. Might go in here. Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
Oh, yes, there it is. Excellent. Yay.
That's it. And it's don't worry about that. It's not a children's book. It's all age. There's so much information. Look at that. Who's that?
That's somebody familiar, yeah.
Look at the haircut. It's exactly. Look at that.
Almost. I've got it short since then. Hey.
It is a bit shorter. It is a little bit shorter. No, it's so good. I read that book out in talks and workshops and to schools. I've read it to entire kindies, and yeah, it's unreal. And the kids just go, whoosh, you know.
Yeah, they do. They really love it. Kids are really engaged. They love the plane, and they love hearing about the birds and drawing the birds in the presentations. It's great. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Nicola's late in, but she's sharing the sentiments that we were talking about at the beginning, Nicola.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss sharing them.
The same way, because it's been you've literally been a weekly installment.
Yeah, it has been, hasn't it? I'm gonna miss seeing everybody on the live stream. There's been a lot of regulars to my live stream. Many of them are here tonight.
Yes, and, they are. Unreal.
And yeah, it's unreal. And you make connections with those people. And then as I've been traveling around, I've met some of these people in real life. Like Nicola and I bumped into each other at the Toondah protest. And it's just so funny. And it's like, oh my gosh, you've been following me on my live stream all this time, and now here you are. So yeah, I'm gonna miss the flights too. Sort of saying before, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself for a bit. I think I'll feel a bit lost when I finish. Be a bit of a calm down.
When we see the police and fire brigade called to a Perth suburb because you're just going for a bit of a flight up the street and taking off at the local park and landing. Yeah. Oh, Nina, there you go, Nina. I think Nina was asking the name of the book.
Yeah, A Shorebird Flying Adventure. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, you'd love Nina, Millie. Nina's a wonderful advocate for slow fashion and changing the whole fast fashion message. And
fantastic! She's good one.
Fantastic advocate, and she was on the recent third series of War on Waste.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes. I got to catch up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. Yeah, I see Spencer's comment there. I did, Spencer, and thank you for sending the photos through as well. That was a lovely shout out. You spoke really well. It was a really good speech. Very powerful when you hear from young people standing up in front of a big crowd like that. It's a big deal. Yeah, exactly. And Spencer has just started his Stand Up for Nature Day. The first one happened on Saturday as well. So that's really impressive. Yeah.
Oh, it sure is. I was aware. I was thinking of you on Saturday, Spencer. I couldn't be there, but I was thinking of you, and I'm sure I'll make it to one of the ones in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look. So what's on tomorrow, Millie?
What's on tomorrow? Well, I've actually got to give the Microlight a wash. It's covered in red dirt
Wash the
from
sheets.
Anna Plains Station. Still covered in red dirt from
A bit
Anna
of-
Plains. Yeah. So I've got to clean it up a bit, and then get ready for takeoff on Thursday morning. So we'll be flying to Carnarvon Thursday. Yeah.
Carnarvon. Wow.
Carnarvon, yeah. Yeah, so it's a 3-hour flight from Exmouth to Carnarvon. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. 3 hours. That's a good long flight.
It is a good long flight, yeah.
Yeah.
I might need to plan a wee stop on the way if it's a headwind. Might drag out to 4 hours or something if I've got a headwind down there. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, Millie, I think everyone's asked everything that they wanted. Thanks everyone for jumping on and supporting this well, the whole journey, but again today, and supporting Millie for this final little, well, not little, this final part of the journey home.
Yeah,
we're all really really proud of you, and really stoked to have been able to be part of the journey with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks all for being there with me. It's been exciting and comforting, actually. Like when I'm up in the sky, I have my phone out there in the wing, and I know that everyone's watching. I feel like I've got everybody there with me. And when the reception cuts out, I'm like, oh, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh well, I'm on my own again. That's okay.
Yeah. That's well, as Marty Ross just said, you'll probably never know how much of an impact you've had. For all of us, you know, we can talk about it, but you know, for so many people, you've opened up, you know, a wonderful educational sort of chapter in their lives as well.
Yeah, well, that was really the goal of the project. So I'm excited. I'm going to be going to the Australian Ornithological Conference in November and presenting about the outcomes of wing threads at the end of this trip. So one of the things I did is get feedback surveys from all the schools I visited. So putting those results together is and being able to present them is a really good way to kind of wrap things up, I think.
Yeah, wow. And I mean, you know, that's that level of engagement that you've had, and that you'll be able to take this, you know, all of this knowledge and the data and the connection and the sharing. Everyone, there's a lot of lives that have been opened up to the importance of what your mission was, which was birds, shorebirds, birds, and wetlands and landscapes, you know.
Yeah, it was really about that and the connections. Yeah.
What was that about Spencer's birthday?
I'm not sure.
That is my birthday. Today, is it, Spencer? Wish I could be. Wish I could be at White Gum when you finish, but we'll be there in it, spirit.
We'll be there with you in spirit or on the live stream. Hopefully, that reception doesn't cut out. You can join me on the live stream when I get there.
Danny said, looking forward to your next amazing adventure once you've had a rest, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There'll be more adventures. We've got things in the pipeline.
Giovanni said, that's a fair point. You know, I get worried when the stream cuts out, you know.
Yeah. I think everybody freaked out the first live stream I did, and it cut out, I think, over Boddington Mine on the way to Bunbury. I think everyone's used to it by now.
Yeah. I always remember watching you on your first ever live. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, God, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. It was pretty
I'm
cool.
just glad that the BirdLife Australia contacted me and said, will you share this post? And I'm like, share the post, get out. We got to do a live. And then that was it. It was on like Donkey Kong. 2 days later, I was up in the Microlight in Newcastle, and we're talking sort of 18 months ago.
Yeah, that's right. It was February last year.
February, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Oh, unreal.
Yeah.
Well, big loves. Yes. Oh, it's your birthday today, so it is Spencer's birthday. Today.
Oh.
Well, I think we need to break it.
Conference. It's his birthday at the conference in November. Right.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh, the ornithol. Oh, okay. I was about to burst out into a song. You could have stitched me up there. I was going to sing, and then it's not until the ornithological conference.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, February last year. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll save the birthday. I'll save the birthday song until the ornithological conference.
It's very official.
Oh, it's my birthday in November as well. All those Sagittarians. Go the Sagittarians. Spencer's going, no, don't sing. Yeah, we don't want to. People might need trauma counselling after I sing Happy Birthday. Although it's always fun. It's always fun. Well, wow. Annie's just looking forward to the final flight home. I'll be in touch. I'm going to the Wright Brothers Museum before Christmas to inquire about a few things. Oh,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice one, Annie.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. Annie's been there pretty much every single live stream, I think.
Yeah.
Always the first one in.
Yeah. Like a bank, Annie. Dependable.
Yeah. She is, yeah.
Oh, Tingy, you're a Sag too. Will you be live streaming your final leg home? Yes, I imagine you are.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So, just jump on, Martin. Jump on either Wing Threads page or the YouTube and just say, give me notifications, and it'll tell you when Millie goes live. Because we got to have plenty of numbers on there on that final leg home.
Yeah. If you go to Wing Threads on YouTube, you just click on the bell.
Ding ding.
Yeah, and it sends you notifications. Yeah.
Well, it's 7:00. I imagine it's your dinner time, Millie.
It is, yes.
Well, enjoy your dinner. Thank you for jumping on and yarning with us. Everyone's sending their love your way.
Thank you, everybody. It's really lovely. Thank you.
Love from Jabiru, and
thank you.
Plenty of. I'm a little sad. Nice to have Sadgies here. Have a Oh, hang on. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Marty. Millie, unreal. So good to catch up. And like we all said at the top, hard to believe that this is our last catch up before you get back home. But then we'll have one when you're back home.
That sounds good. Yeah.
That would be good when you've landed and just to catch a little bit of that kind of next day or two after, just to sort of go, whoa, you're back like a digital,
have a debrief.
So yeah, enjoy these next. What did you say? 3 legs or 4?
4.
4 legs.
Yeah.
And we're looking at roughly sometime in and around, just for people as a ballpark, in and around did you say the 16th?
No, the 20th or 21st of
20th or 21st.
Of September.
Yep.
Yeah, back at White Gum Farm. And we'll be having a fly-in and end of the adventure celebration. So anyone in the Perth area is welcome to come to White Gum Farm for that. I've got an event set up on Facebook at the moment, and it says 30th of September, but that's just because I had to put a date in for Facebook. It's not actually a confirmed event date. That's subject to change, very much so.
Oh yeah, I saw that because I clicked on Microlight and that one came up.
Yeah.
So I'll find that and I'll put it into the posts. I'll put it in the comments afterwards, everyone, so you can click on that and if you're in that part of the world, get on up to White Gum.
Yeah, come on up.
Yeah. That'll
be
a
tea
party.
and coffee. A tea party.
All right. Well, Millie, enjoy
Thanks,
your evening. Enjoy the next legs, and I look forward to when we chat at the back end, at the little finish line.
Me too. And
love.
big love to you too. And someone said thank you, Costa, for being Millie's sidey. I just wanted to second that as well. It's been awesome having you on board, and being able to share this with you along the way and with all of your followers has been such a joy, like a joyful thing to have on the side of all of this. So thank you for that and for your support. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a joy, and to bring everyone else, as you say, to bring everyone else along.
Yeah.
And to bump into people who just come up to me and say, "How's Millie? Did you see that last flight?" And just I'm now looking at birds. That's it.
Yes.
If one person more is looking,
exactly,
and there's thousands more. That's the reality, which is just so good. So no, absolute pleasure, and I'll see you on the live, on the next couple of lives, actually.
that'd be great.
We're all going to enjoy them, and thanks everyone. We'll sign off and keep an eye out. Sorry, when's the next one? On
Thursday morning. 6:15 my time, so 8:15 your time.
8:15 our time. Oh, that's a great time. I'll be Mudgee. I'll be going to Mudgee.
Nice. Mudgee's nice.
Schools day up there. Yeah.
Lovely.
So it'll be before the kids get there. Otherwise, I'd show it to them. But I'll see you all there, everyone, including you, Millie.
Awesome. I'll see you then.
All right. See you, everyone.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Millie.
Bye.
What are we doing for?